Welcome to our next episode of the Milestone Moment, where we take top producing agents and ask them about their story, how they got started, and the moment that it all changed for real estate. Today we have Katlin Lee with us. Katlin, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
So I know quite a bit about you, but tell for our viewers a little bit about your story. How did you get started in real estate?
I am from a real estate family. My mom has been a Windermere agent for over 35 years.
Absolute legend, Susan Jones, yeah.
And a real estate agent for almost 50. So I grew up in the business, and she, when I was growing up, always told me, you've got to do real estate. You'd be so good at it. And I was absolutely no, I would never. Yeah. And then once I graduated from college, screwed around for a little while trying to figure out what I was going to do, ended up moving back here and kind of with my tail between my legs going, okay, Mom, fine.
Tell me where to start.
Real estate sounds fine. What are we doing? And so that's kind of how it started, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, so stumbled into it, obviously. Is it the people that you love or the community, or what is it that drives you every day to be a top producer like you are?
I kind of think maybe I was meant to be a teacher in this life, because for me, my favorite part about the business is the coaching part of it. I love working with first-time home buyers, and I love working with relocation buyers and sellers, and anyone that I can kind of coach through the process. Mm-hmm. I mean, sure, I can handle a client who has bought and sold, 20 houses in their life, right. But what I really love is working with people who really need all the help and all the hand-holding, yeah. And that is, I think, where I really thrive, and I love it. I've seen
you be infectious around people. You have kind of a way about you, just a passion for like connecting with people. Is that something that you just always had, or you just love being around people? Like, tell us about just how you connect in such a special way.
I don't know. Well, thank you. That is a wonderful compliment. I'm just a very social person, and I love people and connections, and I've never been somebody who really loves to be by myself. I always want to be, involved in everything and communicating with all the people and part of all the planning of everything and all the events. And so doing open houses and throwing parties, and that is like right up my alley. It's so fun.
Creativity,
yeah.
People together,
yeah.
And the marketing piece. So it's something new every day, I assume, right?
Yes.
That's awesome. So you have done an amazing job in our local community, which you've gotten your name out. People know you. You've also connected like other agents in this community by having like twilight open houses and just driving our market, which we are so grateful for you. Like, what is it that makes that part of like what you do? I mean, is that just because you love working with other agents, or you think it's collaborative? Or tell us a little bit about how you kind of came about that.
I think that in any real estate transaction, we are all on a team together. And I've never been able to understand this thing that some agents do where, like, if I'm the listing broker and you're the selling broker, that we're somehow not on the same team and we're working against each other. And to me, since I've been doing this for 13 years now, and since the beginning of my career, I have made a giant effort to connect with all of the brokers in my area and get to know each and every one of them. When I first moved to the neighborhood, I started a Facebook page that is all women who live in the Ridge and are real estate agents. And we have a group of about 20 of us who are just the super best active, right? Of the best. And, the most badass babes in our neighborhood, and we get together frequently, and we share tips, and we talk about what we've got coming up and how can we help each other. And I think it's so important to have that in your community, and to remember that we really are all on the same team, and we are all working toward a common goal, which is to get to the closing table successfully and peacefully and all of it.
I love that. And that's across multiple brokerages. Obviously, at Windermere, there'll probably some RE/MAX or Realtor. Different places. It does not matter.
And Compass and Coldwell Banker and John L. Scott and all of the brokerages. And we all, this group of women that I brought together however many years ago, we're all from different brokerages. We're all from different backgrounds. And it's really, really cool that we can kind of all sit down together and have a glass of wine and talk about the market and what we're doing to stay relevant and all of it.
Oh my gosh. And now, is there a moment where all things have changed? Obviously, you kind of were brought into it with your mom, and then, what has kind of been that milestone moment where you went from maybe just kind of hustling under your mom's stuff and then on your own, and because you don't share you don't work with your mom at this point. It's all your own stuff. So
I've never worked with my mom.
Well, there we go. That's maybe the answer.
I mean, when I started selling real estate, she was like, I'll hire you as my assistant. And I said, great. So I got to the office that first day and I said, all right, Susan, what are we doing? And she said, well, what do you mean? I'm not retiring. I'm not just going to give you business. Right. You're just my assistant, and then you build your own business. So she made me work for it, and I was never handed anything, and it's been great because of it. And of course, she's coached me every step of the way, and it's been awesome. So
I love that. Now, for newer agents, what kind of any tips or strategies or things that you would say that, looking back your 13 years early on, Katlin, what would have been so helpful for you to know?
100% link up with an agent who knows what they're doing and who has experience and is willing to support you and prepare to send you off into the world on your own. I'm so lucky to have had that person be my mom, but I know there are a lot of teams out there that you can join. I just can't imagine a world where you get your real estate license and you just join Compass and Windermere and you just go sell real estate. Right. I mean, you really have to have a person who knows exactly what they're doing and who can coach you through all of it. Whether you're an assistant or you join a team or you work for a builder, all of those things will accomplish the same thing, but you've got to get the experience and you have to get the coaching and training kind of behind the scenes before you can venture out and do it on your own successfully.
I love that. Yeah, I've done many of these episodes, and joining a team or agents need to have at-bats and clients to talk to, and you can't learn by doing 2 deals a year because you forgot the one that you did 6 months ago, and it's just so important. So I think that's really, really good advice. Tell me something that you're excited about for this year with your business, or what do you see this year in the market? Anything that, it's all headline driven these days. So
yes.
Very loaded question, but anything that you want to share about this year?
I think this year is more challenging than the previous maybe decade, honestly. I think there is a lot of mistrust and a lot of not understanding what's happening, and that could be a political thing, and we won't go into any of that, of course, but I think that buyers right now are just scared, and sellers are scared. Everybody's scared. Sellers don't want to leave their 3% interest rate and their house they have all this equity in, and buyers don't want to give up everything that's left in their 401k and to buy it's a really interesting time. So I think the best thing that we can do as agents is to stay 100% on top of the market. Yep. We need to be able to discuss every single property that exists within our area that we work, and we need to be able to speak confidently about what is going on in the market. Yep. And for my Snoqualmie market right now, we are seeing a little bit more of a buyer's market. Yeah. And sellers need to be prepared for that change. And it's been a long time that we've had a seller's market, and that's not what we're looking at right now. So we need to be able to set, different expectations and let everybody know that it's fine. Right. We're still all up. We're probably still all doing just fine, but it is a little bit different, and we're only up 1% year over year this month. Right. So that looks a lot different than the 5%, the 20% we saw, year over year. Right. I mean, that's just not going to be our reality forever moving forward, and it shouldn't be. Yeah. That's not a realistic, sustainable market. So
well, we're definitely kind of leaning into it, just the uncertainty of buyers and trying to give them some certainty, number one, and walk them through, right? Obviously, the other thing that this market kind of bodes itself to is diversifying, right? Anybody that's had a bunch of money in stocks, as much as there's volatility, there's less volatility in housing than there is in the stock market. Now, of course, that goes day by day, could be different, right? But if you do have some assets to try and get a house, or we're also talking about not necessarily selling any stocks, but borrowing against it, you still have the assets. So just working through the affordability piece and then understanding the best plan, I think, is the only way to
100%.
approach it. Yep, and that's why your experience is super important, where we get to team up with great agents that walk them through that process. So now when the clients get their keys, what happens next? Like, how do you kind of foster that relationship post-closings? I think you do an amazing job, so different than a lot of agents that you have. I mean, they become your friends. You bring them into the pub. I see you with our past clients because they're just friends of yours. Like, what is it? Is that a strategy? Just you enjoy being around those people? Like,
I just like people. I like people and I like friends, and I don't know. I really enjoy getting to know people at a really deep level, and I feel like when I work with especially new buyers who are coming to the area, and I love being able to go, oh my gosh, I have the best restaurant for you, and I know the owners, and let's go. That's so fun, and thank you for that. But outside of all of that, I just really enjoy getting to know people on a really deep level. And I think that has been a huge part of my success, is that after closing, I'm going to text you all the time. I'm going to be like, hi, there is no reason for me to call you today, but I want to know how you're doing. How are you? What's going on? Do you want to have lunch next week? I'm a big lunch, happy hour, dinner type person, and I want to find any reason I can to connect with people who I've worked with in the past. Yeah.
Just going out with people. Yeah. Now, you do such an amazing job in the Women's Guild and the community and supporting, obviously, Seattle Children's. Can you speak to that? And then also, second to that would be, for newer agents, how did they decide what to get involved in to help their business? Like, should they be going to a church? Should they be doing a Women's Guild? Should they? How did you pick, number one, Seattle Children's, and number two, has that been something just helping you connect with the community? Or
really good question. I will say I initially was connected with Seattle Children's because of a neighbor many years ago who had a child who sadly passed away and was at Seattle Children's. And so I got involved initially through that. And then my own kiddo went through some health issues and spent some time in doing a bunch of testing at Seattle Children's. So I really dove in then. And so I'm now 13, I've lived here for 13 years. So 13 years into being a part of a guild for Seattle Children's. I switched from one to another about 10 years ago, but I just think it's the most important cause, uncompensated care. We raise money so that no family is left without treatment. So regardless of your ability to pay, kids still get treated. And that to me is so important. And there's so many important causes. Right. I think for my business, being involved in that kind of thing is really important. I hate to say that's why I do it, and it's not why I do it, but certainly, real estate agents should be involved in that kind of thing. Number one, because it's important for all of us to be involved, and if we're making enough money and we have the platform, then we should do those things. Right. But, also because it's an awesome cause. So pick your poison, right? Like, Mary's Place is an amazing charity, and Compass. These places all do such awesome things for the community, and I do think it is important. Everybody should get involved. I think for agents, we have the funds, we have the time, and we have the networks to really make a difference. So it's super important.
That is awesome. Well, you do an amazing job not only in the community, with the agent community, with your past clients. We're super lucky to have you in Snoqualmie Ray is number one on the east side in Terrell. Any parting words, anything you want to say about?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I love the business so much. I think it's such a special, unique business to be in. We control our own schedules. We control who we get to work with. We get to work with the best people in the world, loan officers and escrow people and clients, and we get to pick all of that.
Right.
And that is really, really special. I think our business is the best. And I think what we can do for people, if we do it right, is unbelievable. I mean, we're helping people make the biggest financial decision of their lives. And it's not just financial, it's emotional, and it's all the things. And to be a part of that is really special.
Nice. Cool. Thank you so much. You've been a fantastic guest. Thanks for
Yay.
joining us. And that's our episode, Milestone Moment. Thank you, Katlin Lee. Appreciate you.
Thank you.